Class is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, it is Brian Kaz here, joined by my friend and business partner, Sean Casey. We have another Wednesday marketing webinar for you today. And this week, we thought since it's been a while since we've done like an extended Q&A where we gave you guys a chance to basically answer any questions you want. You can send those in ahead of time or ask live. We thought it's been a couple months or so we thought we'd do another one of those. To make sure that if you guys have any questions, we basically answer them. So a handful of you sent in some questions ahead of time, and I'll be actually saying what those questions are and answering them on this call. But of course, there's plenty of room for any additional questions. So if you have any questions that you want answered live pertaining to anything with marketing at all, it does not have to be like a specific topic or anything like that. It could range from ranking stuff to how to market stuff more, to how to sell higher, how to do or sell for higher price points, how to do whatever. Between basically the two of us, I'm sure we'll probably have a pretty good answer for you because we have a decent amount of experience. So if I don't know it, I'm sure Sean would. So feel free to ask anything you want. And without further ado, I guess we can get the call going here. So once again, this is Brian Kaz, joined by my friend and business partner, Sean Casey. And again, on this call, we'll have the extended Q&A where we'll basically answer your marketing questions live. And as always, we have these calls every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is, of course, right now. If you're here or you're registered for this series, you'll get a reminder each week, so don't forget. But if you can't make one, no worries, because we'll have the recordings up in the members area, usually within about a day of any of the calls under the training tab on the left side navigation bar. So you click on the training tab, and then under that, you'll see Wednesday calls or Wednesday training. You'll click that, and you'll see all these calls. And this one will be here either by the end of the day or by tomorrow morning. You'll see this one there at the very top with the most recent ones at the top. There's also a search bar there, so you can search by keywords and stuff to find basically topics of interest to you, because we have a ton of trainings there. I mean, probably over 100 of them. So if there's, it's not like you have to watch, all those. But if there's a topic of interest to you, you can either briefly sort through and see the titles of each one, or you can just do a keyword search and it'll pull those up that way as well to help you out. And if you want a chance to win $100 today, make sure to join our free Facebook group at getwebfire.com/FB group. If you're not a free member of that yet, just go right there. I'll forward you to the Facebook group page. Click the join button. Sharon will prove you probably in a couple minutes. If you do so like right now or on this call right here, then at the end of the call, we'll give you some instructions on what to do, where we'll pick a random winner to win $100 that will pay the same day over PayPal Live, and we'll actually do the drawing live, so you can see that it's all random and whatnot, and you'll have a decent chance of winning right there. Now let's move on to our training for this week, where we'll be answering your questions that you sent in. And of course, if there's any questions that you didn't send in but you want to ask live, feel free to ask those as well, because we'll have plenty of time. So again, we'll do the extended Q&A first, followed by the cash giveaway. And now onto your quick questions. So I'll start with some that were sent in, then we'll kind of move on. And there's some that I'll do like kind of like a little demo, like an example of some stuff. And then we'll basically answer any other questions and stuff you have. So one of the questions that we got, there was a person from London, I think, if memory serves, who said that they have a business, and my impression was it was an offline business, but it's never, I don't think they specified that, but it sounded like they had a business in London, so presumably like a local one. And they said that 3 years ago, they used to be on page 1 of Google. And then they said since then, for like basically the last three years or so, they've kind of fallen off of page 1 and gone to page 3 for their business in London. And that they're basically asking how Webfire can help them get to page 1, or how they can help themselves basically anyway to get to page 1, because they said it seemed like years ago they were able to easily be in page one, and now they've fallen off. And that's actually kind of a common thing. But the good news is that there's a lot of fairly easy things that you can do to fix that. In the past few years, Google and the other search engines, but especially Google, has made a lot of changes where they kind of prioritize sites or favor them if they do just a handful of certain things, and they kind of slowly start to penalize sites that don't. And what I'll do, I'll just pause the screen for a second as I go on over to my web browser to kind of show off a little bit about what I'm talking about right here. So a perfect example here is this was actually a client of ours, and this is probably the closest example or I shouldn't say closest. This is probably a good example, and that is a local business, probably just like yours. And this was a guy that initially he started, oh gosh, maybe 3 years ago or so. And initially, you know, that was right when like a lot of changes were basically taking place in the search engines, and he was having a really tough time. He was saying, hey, realistically, I should be ranked, you know, somewhere on page one, or probably towards the top of page one, because, you know, there's not necessarily a ton of competition for basically a tennis shop in Madison. But he was like buried online. Like I want to say he was like, I don't know if he was page 3 or 4 or 5, and for a lot of search terms he was nowhere to be ranked, not even the top like 100. I mean, nowhere at all for a lot of the terms. Like he wanted to rank for not just stuff like basically tennis shop, you know, in the Madison area, but also stuff like tennis shoes, racket restraining, you know, tennis apparel and clothes, and like a whole bunch of individual terms like that. Because there's like you know, there's a decent market not only for like basically rackets, but also for the apparel for the shoes, which is a big one, because it's like you can't, like a lot of stores, even shoe stores or sports stores, don't sell shoes specifically for tennis, so it's really hard to find them. And having like a racket restrung, same thing. There's only like a couple places that do that, and he knew that he had the best one. He had the most advanced tech with all that. He had the largest selection of shoes, and you know, all that right there. But he was buried, and he said, "Hey, this isn't really fair, because technically I should be ranked, because people would want to find me." He was absolutely right. The problem was there was a few things that he wasn't doing. Now, the basic thing, and this is the basic thing that was true even like years and years and years and years ago, is that any keyword you're trying to rank for, you ideally want to have it somewhere in the title tag of one of your pages. So if you want to rank for, in this case, tennis shop Madison, you see like right here, we changed it so that was somewhere in his title tag, which is, you know, basically usually the blue link that you see in Google, right there. If you don't know what that is, if you use the site analysis tool that we have right here, this is one we did for a roofing place. What you can do right here is you can see what your title tag is right here, and if you want to change it or fix that, you can just click fix and change it all right there. We also have, under the SEO and keywords, we have SEO configuration, which can help with some stuff there. But this is a pretty neat way right here to actually fix the actual title tags and stuff around right there. So you don't want to have just the keyword in the title. You want to have it be like also compelling. In this case, I had some other keywords in there to give them a chance to rank for some other terms like, you know, racket, shoes, apparel, straining, and all that right there. So you want to make sure you have that first and foremost. That way, and then with every other web page you have, you want to make sure that you kind of have that sit somewhere in the title as well. So you want to try to shoot for a variety of different keywords and target those different keywords on the different web pages and title tags. So you might have like a 10-page site, and you want to make sure that each site has a different you know, title tag that's trying to target various keywords relevant to that page, but also relevant to your business as a whole right there. And that's been true for a very, very, very long time right there. And that alone can get you ranked well for a lot of stuff, especially if it's not like insanely competitive. But if it's a little more competitive, or to kind of give it like a little more kick, you want to also do a couple other things. One of the important things is to have a schema. Now, a schema is basically what's responsible for this and this whole right thing right here. So you see how right here, you not only have the main link here, but you have like the, I guess like, I call it like the little underpage links right here. That's done through the use of a schema. That's called a navigation schema, which I'll get to that in a second. And basically you have this whole space versus like a tiny space like right here or right here, where it's just a link and nothing else. A schema can also do like the review stars. It can also do, if you're like a local business, it's this entire right then that came about because of the use of a schema. So if you want to have like your address and your phone and your hours, if you're a restaurant, you could have a menu. If you want to have your social media up there, you can have that. It can link all that together, including like a map and a number, and lots of cool stuff like that, including a picture. That's all done again through the use of a schema. Now, more and more, Google and those guys are looking to see who's basically done stuff like that, because it basically says like it's kind of like if you want to get ranked in their eyes, you should do the necessary steps to help them rank you. Whereas if you don't do squat in their eyes, it's like, well, why should I help you if you don't help us get any info on you? It's kind of like if you go to a restaurant and you won't tell the waiter what you want, and then you're upset that you get a random dish that you don't like. Well, at the end, yeah, maybe they could have guessed maybe better, but if you tell them exactly what you want, you're more likely to get the exact same dish you want. Exact same thing with Google. And what we can do here is we have a schema tool inside of Webfire. Just go down to click on SEO and keywords right here, then scroll on down to the schema markup, and you see this right here. And you can pick the type of schema that you want. Like in this case, this is just a local one for like a local business. And you basically fill in the blank. Like if you have a menu, if you're a restaurant, you would type in that. If you have a number or a phone number, and if you have your hours and your address and all that crap, you fill in right there. And then if you have any social media, you can add in links there. You can just click add more. So you can have like Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff linked up right there. Then after that, you just click create code. It gives you some code. You paste that on your site, or you just click add schema to WordPress or add schema to HTML, which pretty much covers almost all sites. It will help you kind of walk you through and help you add that in to your site right there. Then you can test to verify you have that there. And now with that, with a schema, don't expect to necessarily see results like the same day. It depends when Google stops by your site and looks at you. And from our testing, sometimes it can take a day, sometimes it can take a few weeks for them to actually start to show the changes to your site. But usually within a month or so, at the latest, you should see that start to kick in right there. And that's a simple thing that literally, I mean, you could get this done in like 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, maybe like 20 if you're going like slower, or you have to look up like the information on your site to add it in, like if you don't know your username or password on site. I mean, yeah, but not terribly long to do all that. And even if it takes like an hour, definitely worth your time. This is also a cool service you can turn around and sell to others as well, because it's like, hey, do you want to look like the small guy at the very bottom here, or like this big guy at the top and on the whole right side? You can also see there's different kinds of schemas, and you can add more than one at the same time. I see there's a question on that. You can add multiple schemas, so you can have a local one. You can also add what we call the navigation one. Let me just show an example. So that's the thing that has the little links under it, kind of like right here. You can help get those shown through that. And you basically just pick whichever kind of one you want. Like if it's just a blog, or just like a video, or if you have a product page like an e-commerce site, you can pick any of those and add those in, right there. So if you do those things by himself, that can help. And anytime you make a change to your site, what you can also do is, if you go down to SEO and keywords, scroll down to where it says submit your site. It's super easy. You just fill in basically the URL of your site, and you click the submit button, and it will kind of knock on the door of a bunch of sites and search engines to say, hey, I changed some stuff on my site, please check me out. And they might be more likely to go to your site faster to see the changes that you made and stuff. But those things by themselves should help you out a great deal. The other thing too is you want to make sure that, again, not only to have, as I said, keyword-rich title tags and stuff, but also useful content and stuff. And you try to rank for stuff that legitimately your page is about that people will find useful. Because reason why, Google also looks at how many or what percentage of searchers click on your site versus another, and how long they stay on your site versus click back and go to another site. So if they find your site, click on it, and immediately click back, then click on another site and stay on that site, that tells Google what? That for whatever reason, that search term probably didn't really make sense for your site, or your site wasn't good enough and they liked another one more. Likewise, if they click on your site more than others, or if they click on your site and stay on it for a long time, that tells Google that, hey, there's something about your site that people like, so it matches up very good with this search term, so we're more likely to rank you higher. In fact, one of the things I've seen too is that there's people that if you actually, this won't work as well for like larger search terms, but for like smaller ones, you can actually search for your own site, click on it once you see it ranked, and stay on it. And we've seen that slightly help too for like smaller volume searches and stuff. Whereas if you just to see what you're ranked at and you never click on your site, that can hurt you in a minor way for like smaller search terms. If it's like a lot of search terms, it won't make a major, or not search terms, search volume. If there's a lot of search volume, that won't make a major difference. But that's a side little trick there. Let's say, but yeah, so the main takeaway from that is to make sure that whatever you're trying to rank for, your page legitimately is something that people would want to be on and want to see. And you know, to give you an example, we had a user once that was upset because they had a weight loss site, but their weight loss site was I think it was mostly for men or women, I'm not sure. Yeah, it was for one of the sexes. It's like let's just say it was for women, okay? So they had this weight loss site for women, and they were trying to rank for terms not only like weight loss and weight loss for women, but also they were trying to rank for stuff like weight loss for men. But it's like nothing on their page was specific to men. So it's like realistically, if someone searched, found that site and went to it, they'd be like, well, this sucks. I was looking for weight loss for men, and this is a site and weight loss for women, or even weight loss in general. Even though weight loss in general might be relevant to weight loss for men, if someone does a search for weight loss for men, you want to specifically find a site that addresses weight loss tips for men, or vice versa. And they wanted to rank for all these terms that really it was like your site has nothing to do with most of that. So of course, not only would it be very hard to rank for the stuff that your site's not about, but even if you did get ranked, you probably wouldn't stay there because you don't have the content that the people searching for that search term want. So make sure that the terms you're trying to rank for, you legitimately have the stuff that those people would want. They'd want to stay on, read your site, or buy your stuff, or view your videos, or whatever that might be right there. So I know it sounds kind of like common sense, but I'd say like probably 80% of people that I've talked to on that don't do that. They don't have the relevant content to back that up. All right, another question we actually got a few questions like this, but there's one question of how, like, what can they do to basically promote their affiliate link for Webfire, or what can they do to promote a Various affiliate link for other stuff. So I'll kind of combine those all into one, because how you basically market one is pretty similar to most things. But one of the first things you can do, of course, is you can do like a blog post, where if you want to write like a review, you can do that. And you want to make sure that you have, again, a good targeted relevant keyword in the title tag. And for like review type terms, I just see like you could use the keyword tool, and you don't have to like have like 50 related keywords, because like from like most products you won't have 50 related review keywords. Instead, you could actually type in a few by hand, separate them by a comma. In fact, I'll show you right here. So on the keyword tool right here, this is just for Massage Share. Instead of having just one keyword and find 50 related ones, you can click the second option right here, where you can type in multiple keywords and separate them by a comma. And you could do like search terms like, you know, just replace the word essentially product with whatever, you know, product or site it might be. You could do like product review, review of product, product review 2018, product.com review, like all sorts of various things like that, or product 1 versus product 2, or product 1 versus product 2 review. And like just a few terms like that that you could think of yourself, knowing that others will probably search those too, and just try to see you know, what it looks like down here. And my rule of thumb is, you know, obviously if it's in green, that's a better keyword to go for. But one of the most important ones, this isn't like in all cases, but in a lot of cases, you want to look at the title tags, and or basically the title tag matches. And usually, if it's less than 3, so if there's 2 or less exact matches on the front page of Google that contain the exact keyword, you usually have a very good chance of ranking. If there's like 0, you have an almost guaranteed chance of ranking. Like you see right here, there's plenty that are 0 for this massage term right here. So you have a very good chance of ranking for those right there. So you can have a blog based on that. You can also turn that into a video. You can do like a video and have it be like a review, or you can also like not only have some that are like a review, you could also do some that are more educational. Like, hey, these are the top 5 uses of whatever product. Or these are the top 3, or these are the top 3 things that I really like about this, or these are the top 3 uses that I do for this tool right here, and have like a mix of videos like that. So and you can turn around and use some of the lead tools to find guys that are either asking questions on the specific product, or people asking basically questions not about the product itself, but about stuff related to it. Like for instance, if you're an affiliate of Webfire, you could find guys asking questions on SEO, or asking questions on how to find leads and stuff, and you can answer them, or asking questions on a schema, and you can say, you know, hey, you know, if guys are asking, hey, what's a good way to do this or that, you can say, hey, well, you know, I actually use a tool called Webfire that helps make schemas, as well as like a couple dozen other things. Here's a video I have in the top like 3 or 5 things that I do with this, or here's a video I have of the review of this, or basically anything like that. And it can be a great way to drive traffic essentially anywhere you want. And you're not just appealing to that one lead, you're appealing to, in some cases, dozens, hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands of people that might later see that post that you did, even months or even years down the line. So that can help a great deal right there as well. Or of course, if you have a list, of course you can mail those lists to, or if not, you can build a list in any niche that you want as well, using again a lot of the same methods that we basically talked about having an offer out there, or like a free offer, and then have that free offer of yours on like an opt-in page, have like a handful of upsells, and then you can mail stuff on the back end, whether it be your own products or other stuff as an affiliate. There's a whole bunch of uses as that. You can also even search on Facebook and stuff and find groups in various niches that are basically talking about all sorts of stuff, asking questions, and you can start to participate in those groups and start to answer questions and stuff, and really provide value first and foremost, but also recommend various tools and stuff to them, recommend various contents and stuff that you have as well. And the key is the more value you can provide, the more likely they are to like you and follow through with what you say. All right, another question that we had sent in was the person was basically asking, they want to sell physical products online as like a drop ship, And they didn't specifically say, but I believe they were specifically talking about like either on like Facebook ads or stuff like that. And they want to know, how can they tell if a product will be a winner or not? Well, there's a couple ways. One, of course, is ultimately at the end of the day, you'll want to test it. And the fastest way to test that usually is with like paid traffic, where if you know that, like, you know, if you spend a little dough and see that no one signs up as a lead or no one buys, it's probably a sign that maybe it might not be the best of products, but there's a shortcut. And that is, I have it up here. If you go to aliexpress.com, ALIEXPRESS.com, it's kind of like the sister site of Alibaba. You can buy, except unlike Alibaba, you can buy individual things here, and they ship them from overseas in China, mostly here, and they can ship it worldwide. A lot of times they'll include it for free, and it's really cheap. The only downside is it's not like an Amazon where you buy a product and like the next day you get it shipped to you. Like, but it's not that bad either. In some cases, it can take like a week. In some cases, it can take several weeks. But as long as that's not a major issue, there's a few, and I'll share some tips with that. But here's what you can do. So first, let's say that you are interested in the cat niche. Okay. You could type in cat toy. And then you see all these cat toys right there. And then what you want to do is you can actually sort these right here. And you can see, you know, what appears to be getting a lot of orders and such. They have the default one is the best match, which, you know, that's, you know, usually they have some good ones there, but you want to usually go by the orders right there, and you can kind of sort all that right there and see what's what. And you see right here, like, hey, this one has over 6,500 orders right there. And I don't know the exact, like, I don't know, I don't think those are all time necessarily. I think it's based on like certain time frame right there, but you can kind of get like a general idea of like, hey, these ones are selling real well. So on the cat toy, this weird little ball thing, which, you know, you'd see that and you'd probably think like, oh, that neat, but you probably wouldn't think that's a top seller. Well, in this case, it is right here. Whereas we see like a laser pen right here that has, looks like it has a picture of a mouse on the pink laser. Over 6,000 orders right there, over 3,000 reviews of it. And we see in that case, the product itself plus the shipping is only $1.26 anywhere in the world, basically. And yes, that's the shipping is included in that right there. So that's the kind of product that if you sold that, like, let's say you had a front end, and let's say you want to get in the cat niche one, you could do one where you go and say, you know, hey, you want to sell that for, you know, it's free, but they just pay $5 for shipping and handling. That's the kind of deal that people say, oh, that's an awesome deal. It's, you know, free, and I only pay the $5 for shipping and all that. You make, you know, literally $3.74 profit just on the front end right there, right off the bat. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, which it's not per se, and if you pay for ads and stuff, you know, a lot of that might get eaten up in costs, but that's why you have upsells. Like after they buy that, you could have an upsell for, hey, this cool ball toy, or an upsell for a 5-piece, looks like some kind of catnip. So for 5 pieces right here, you get 5 pieces for 71 cents total. Plus, in this case, they charge $11 to ship right there, or not $11, 11 cents, excuse me, 11 cents. So for 82 cents, you get a pretty good deal right there. And you see all these other things like, you know, like here's these little bird things that rotate around in the air, like birds and butterflies. Those are about $2 a piece, including shipping right there. So you can have like a few upsells right here of the popular products that you know are selling well, and maybe turn that $5 order up into like a $10 or $20 order, where instead of making a few bucks profit, you might all of a sudden make like 10 or 15 profit. And then if you're spending a lot less to get a sale, boom, you have a good funnel right there. And you can even look for some more like high-end things too as well. So like this looks like a cool toy right here. It's like you place it down and it looks like they hit a toy. Like that's the kind of thing that you might think, hey, that'd be like a cool $10 toy, but it's only like basically $1.74, including shipping, to get all that right there. So that can be some huge profit. You can look for some higher end things, and yeah, that's all up to you and what you want to do right there. Like this is a cool thing. Like this is like a little cat mouse toy that's looks like it's like a race car mouse. That's the kind of thing that I could see guys in like an upsell for like 15 bucks. That'd be kind of cool. And right here, that'd be like, again, $11 pure profit right there. So yeah, just stuff to think about right there. And again, it's fairly easy to see what the winners are. And you do this for anything. Like another one is anything with jewelry is usually, there's a lot of cheap prices there. Let's do, so because I just did a general thing that did this, let's do necklaces and pendants. And I'll go by orders. And we can see here, like here's one that has 51,000 people got this right here. 51,000 got this little seaside beach jewelry thing. 28 cents, including the shipping. That's the kind of thing that, again, if you had that for free plus like $5 for shipping and handling, that's, again, $4.72 profit just on the front end right there. And there's a bunch of, and again, you can have some upsells like, hey, maybe there's a matching earring set that you can find. You could do a search for earrings instead. You can also, like, let's say you want to do like the latest trends and stuff, or you want to see what's new. You can also click on newest, and you can kind of see what they all have there and such to see what's new. And you can kind of see like some of the new stuff, of course, won't necessarily have a lot of sales, but if you see something new that has like a decent amount of sales, that's probably a pretty good sign that might be something kind of popular. Like right here, there's a little shiny heart thing that appears to be new. Gets a decent amount of sales right there. And yeah, so you can kind of go through and do all that stuff. And of course, you can search by price point and stuff too, see what's cheap and what's expensive. Like here's some stuff for 10 cents a pop, including, or no, this one does not include the shipping in that case, but that's only 86 cents. But you can check to see which ones include the shipping or not right there. But again, it's cheap either way. And you can see what's most expensive too. You can search the other way, kind of get like an idea. Like here's some freshwater oyster gift type things right there. You can kind of see what all those prices are. And if you want to see some like high price point stuff, you certainly can search through and find those as well. So that's up to you. And again, this works for anything and everything in almost any niche that you can think of. It doesn't have to be, cat toys or jewelry. It can be anything. So that's a good way to kind of see what the popular ones are. And then you just want to build basically a funnel off that. You can start like a Shopify store or anything like that, and like build like an easy funnel off of that, and actually have a product that you can quickly and easily sell right there. And again, after you get like an idea, like you say, hey, they appear to get a decent amount of sales and appears to be rated well, then at that point, you have an idea, or you at least know that it does sell. So then you can start to test some maybe paid traffic to it right there. And as long as you have like a funnel, you can get a lot more money off that, and you can build a list off of it at the same time. Or if you just want to build a list quickly and easily, you can even do like a giveaway. Like if you want to find a niche of people interested in, let's say, dogs, why not give a dog toy away or a dog necklace away or something along those lines and get a bunch of leads for very, very cheap, and then you give basically what, like a $1 thing away, and you can get hundreds to thousands of leads. I mean, even tens of thousands of leads or hundreds of thousands of leads, even very, very cheaply, even off of Facebook, or even several free ways that you can drive up traffic and stuff too through Webfire and such too right there. And of course, you can also search on Amazon and stuff too, and you can search for any product and find like the popular ones and stuff too, see which ones have the most reviews, and do all that kind of the same way, and to see what might be a popular product in a given keyword. So you can definitely search on Amazon. You can also kind of compare Amazon and AliExpress and see what the prices are, and see if there's, like, in some cases you'll find maybe Amazon has some price at $10 and AliExpress has it for like $1. So that might be an indication that, hey, you might want to do a listing on Amazon for that same thing right there. So that'd be kind of cool right there. So yeah, so that's a pretty good, hopefully that helped you get like a little bit of an idea right there. Let's see what other questions we had here. All right, Steve asked where he could find a complete overview of what's included in Webfire and everything. Sharon, can you send him the replay link to that? We kind of go through all the tools
That's
and
been
stuff.
handled.
Okay, cool.
You're like 47 minutes behind that one.
Yeah, yeah. There's a.
Your crack team is right on top of it.
Alrighty. All right. See what other questions are.
But here's a question that fits with AliExpress, which is if you're Bonnie was asking, hey, if you're buying a necklace for $1.95 with free shipping and handling, do you have to buy a certain number? And the answer is no. You can buy one, and you can actually submit the order using your credit card after somebody buys from you, and have them ship it direct to your customer.
Yep.
So that answered that question. We got the rest of them, but there's a good question that came up real early on, but really broad question from Gary, which is, what's the fastest way to get good targeted traffic?
Well, that depends on the offer. It's kind of like saying, what's the best way to win in a sport? Well, what's the sport? What's the competition? You don't really, it's hard to basically answer that. But if you're looking for free traffic, it really depends on the product that you have. Like, one great way, if you want like a ton of traffic, is to use tools like the competition backlink tool inside of Webfire, or the guest blogger tool and stuff, to find large sites or potential partnerships out there where you can reach out to these places once you have a product or service of some kind, and try to make deals with them, like white label deals where they can sell it under their own name for a good cut, for like, basically the better cut, the better. While you do all this support and make it all hands-free for them. That can drive a lot of traffic really, really fast and get a lot of sales and make it like really, really evergreen. Outside of that, you can also, depending upon the price point that you're selling, you could use the lead tools and such to find prospects out there, either asking questions directly related to what you're selling, or like exactly about the product in question, or relevant to the niche, but not necessarily the product itself. And you can reach out to those guys, answer their questions, provide lots of value, and drive them back to your site as well. On that same note, you can also create a lot of content that you target easy to rank for keywords using the keyword tools, as well as the content and the video tools and such, to get ranked easily on Google and on YouTube and stuff like that, to start to drive a lot of traffic over time. So there's a lot of various things you can do. And there's some things where you can get like some targeted traffic right off the bat, and there's something that you can do to over time get more and more of that start to trickle in. So yeah, those are all, or those are a handful of the ways I would start with right there. Now, if you're looking for paid traffic, of course, one of the easiest ways is with Facebook and stuff. You can test an idea and get basically paid traffic almost within minutes of you making an ad and basically doing all that stuff right there. And any other questions and stuff that you saw, Sean? I saw that you basically answered a lot in the chat while I was talking.
I've been working hard, brother. So Ty asks, how can I increase SEO without spending money on advertising?
Well, basically the first stuff I said at the start of this call.
Well, but let's be clear, because SEO, search engine optimization, does not require spending money on advertising. Yeah. So we've got to separate those two concepts.
Yeah.
So, I think Ty might mean, how does he get free traffic without spending money on advertising?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're not looking to spend like any money, I mean, one of the things that you can do is like the same thing I just said, and the stuff I said at the very start of this call, where you can get ranked very, very easily for just basically doing the basics plus those couple extra things I talked about, like having the keywords in your titles, having the schemas, you know, basically doing all that stuff right there, having relevant but also interesting kind of title tags and topics for people to click through. Works on both for like a web page as well as like on like a video. That can be a great way to get a lot of traffic. The other thing that you can do too, especially for like a blog post or like a video, is you can see like what some of the latest trends and stuff now are, and see if you can tap into it and make it relevant to the topic of interest. So like let's say I don't know, like let's say you sell a straw that like cleans water. Like there's some straws that you can drink through and it turns like dirty water into clean. You know, there's a lot of ways that you could get basically traffic for that. But one thing you could do is you could have an article like let's say that there's like let's say it's one of the times that seems to happen every few months. There's always a scare with like North Korea or some place like that where they threaten like nukes and all that stuff, and a lot of people have that, you know, in the news and all that, so it's fresh on their mind. You can have either like an article or like a video on like the 5 things that you should have in your house in case of a nuclear disaster, and you could have some useful content and tips and stuff there. And one of those, of course, can be like, you know, your straw to, you know, have like water from like a stream and decontaminate stuff or whatever it might be. That's probably not the best example right there, but you can kind of tap into the latest trends and stuff and see how that relates to your stuff. And you can also post those on Facebook groups and stuff, because if there's basically a group relevant to that topic, you could paste basically an article there saying that you thought that was really useful and insightful, yada yada, and that can drive a decent amount of traffic, get guys to share it and stuff too, because if it comes off as like an article, it's not really like a sales page or anything like that, and it can start to go a little viral, get shared and stuff too, and start to get a decent amount of traffic on top of all the stuff you can do to normally rank your site and such too. All right, anything else that you saw, Sean?
1 second. No, I think we got it covered. So if anybody else has any questions, it's a good time to type them in really fast. In the meantime, go to the Facebook page, make a single post, not 2 single posts or 8 single posts, but 1 single post, because single means 1, and get a chance to win some of Brian's money.
All right, so there's a question right here on Facebook. They were basically talking about like the free stuff, like for a Facebook page or group. They're asking how can you tell if like a Facebook page is, or if a Facebook group is popular if you're looking to post on it? Well, if you do a search on Facebook, you can actually instead of searching for people, there's a little tab where you can click to search for groups or pages. And when you do that, they'll first show the most relevant ones, but they'll also have it so it will tell you usually the size of that group too, so you can get like a rough idea where if it's just like a small group of like 10, it obviously might not be worthwhile, but if it's like a large group of like tens of thousands, or in some cases even hundreds of thousands, that might be one where it's like, hey, that might be more worth your time to possibly join that group right there. In fact, I'll try to show an example here in a second. So what I did right here in the background, I did a search for magic tricks right here. So I'm just assuming that let's say you're a magician, or let's say you have products related to magic tricks or kits or anything like that. You would basically type in magic tricks right here, and at first of course it'll have like, it'll go to all, which usually has people, but because it's obviously is not a person right here, we'll show other stuff right there. And then you can click if you want to find posts or people or photos or videos or pages or places or groups. In that case, you want to do groups. And you see right here, you have tons and tons and tons of groups related to magic stuff. And you see right here, it has, you see right there, it has the names, and it also has the number of members right there. Like in this case, it's over 4,000 members right there. And you see there's 10 plus posts a day versus there's 2 posts a day. So you get an idea of how popular it is right there. And now, of course, you can go to virtually like any kind of a keyword, any kind of topic you want, and find lots of examples, right there, and find which groups would be the best ones to join. Now, for some of these, like obviously for niches like let's do weight loss. That's obviously a big one. So for here, I mean, look, here's one, 54,000 members, 15,000, 281,000 members right there, 194,000 members, 152,000 members, 63,000 members. I mean, right there, we're talking between like, I mean, page 1 alone, if we add up just, the first like few on page 1, you're well over, let's see what. Oh, you're closing in on 1 million just off like the first ones, and this just keeps going and going and going and going. We can scroll down more and more, it loads more each time. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of these, and for each one, you could do like you could narrow it down. So let's say you have a weight loss program on the keto diet. Okay, you could specifically look for groups in the keto diet, like do a search for that. Or let's say you're doing intermittent fasting or whatever it might be. You can search for those as well, and find tons and tons of groups that you can join and start to participate in and get in front of lots and lots of people. So anything else, Sean, before I go back to the slides real quick?
No, I think we've got them all covered now.
All right. Alrighty, I'm gonna pause for a second and going back to the slides. All right. There we go. All right, and again, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask those pretty quick right here. Otherwise, we'll go to the giveaway. We're almost at the end of the hour right now. And for that, guys, to have a chance to win $100 right now, you have to go to getwebfire.com/FB group. and click basically join if you're not already a member of the free group right there. Sharon will approve you probably within like a minute or less if you do so like right now. She has a post towards the very top, basically asking what you thought of to today's call. You can tell it's the right post because it will be basically posted about an hour ago at the start of this call. Within that post, if you click on the comment, if you leave a comment within that post, just one, basically asking what you thought of to today's call, or basically any comments at all. If you have any suggestions for a future call or a future topic, or any thoughts at all, feel free to have those. And of course, we always love shares and likes and all that stuff too. But if you leave a comment there, we'll pick a random one in just a few minutes time. We'll actually do the drawing live. So you'll see exactly who wins and all that right there. So again, make sure you go to getwebfired.com/FB group, which is again just forwards to the free Facebook group page right there. And we'll pick a winner in just about a couple minutes here, or like a minute or so. In the meantime, if there's any questions or anything that pops up, feel free to ask that now. I'm just going to pause the screen as I go back to the Facebook page. All right, let's do. I'm just going to refresh this. All right, so just be right here. So here's a post right here from 50 minutes ago. Just click on the comment and leave a comment within that, and we'll pick a winner in about, let's say, maybe 20 seconds or so. In the meantime, if there's any other last minute questions that popped up, we'll see if there's anything. Okay. All right, a person asked here, how can they join a group? I assume they mean on Facebook, related to the to their niche. Now their niche, they said, is weight loss, but it's the same way to join anything. So you go back to this example right here. This is the magician one. Although we can easily do the weight loss one just for you, because that was your topic right there. You just click join. So not too hard. And you can also, there's a few things to know. So you can also sort by basically a public or a closed group. Now a closed group means you have to get basically like approval to join and stuff. So you just click join and then they can approve you. Whereas the public one, the posts are basically open to everyone. So like you can go there, easily join, easily post anything that you want right there. Of course, you don't want to like be spammy because you'll tend to get kicked out. They tend to not like that stuff too, but super easy to do all that, and you just click join right there. So yeah, so super easy to do that. All right, a person said, can they make changes to any site by using WordPress and WebFire tools without getting access to the site itself? No, you can't just magically change a site using the tools without having access to the site. So WebFire can't just change a site without you having access to that site. Otherwise, everyone would change everyone's site to kill them off, to kill each other, or to kill the competition. So you have to have access to like basically their like login or their FTP, but that's easy stuff where if you're doing work for a person, they'd give you either the FTP access or access to their WordPress site or their blog site or whatever it might be. But yeah, obviously you'd have to have access to that site first to change the stuff. And yes, a person asked if they could join a group to share articles and stuff. Yeah, you absolutely can. Now, you just have to make sure, like, try not to be kind of spammy. You want to have value first and foremost right there. Okay. Okay. All right, so Claus is asking here if we know how to use speech recognition software to post to social media. So like you basically talk and it writes the post and posts it. Yeah, I don't know much about that software offhand, and I don't quite know how that works, but I can tell you inside of Webfire, we actually have that's called Social Poster Fire. Under the social tool right there, you can actually you can actually automate posts to your social media like Facebook, also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and stuff like that quickly and easily. You can post to like all at once. You can post to a bunch of pages at once. You can also basically set up like a scheduled post and do all that as well. So you basically do the work one time and you can post out like once a day or once a week or whatever you want. And you can also have it, there is an option where you can recycle old posts so it can continuously post however much you want right there. Okay. All right. Okay, I don't know what you mean. A person said it keeps the number, which is not desired on Facebook. I'm not sure what you mean. If you meant like the number of users on a Facebook group, I just showed that like a minute or two ago. You can see the amount of users there. All right. All right. So a person asks here, why would a lead tool bring out a lead from like Craigslist and stuff? Well, because that's the lead. If you're on Craigslist and you're looking for a person who wants to buy a certain product or a service, or a person's asking to buy an SEO tool, that would definitely be a lead, and you can contact them because on Craigslist they post their emails and they have a reply button. So that would be why that could be considered a lead right there. So I'm not quite sure what your question is there. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure. I think, Alexander, you might be confusing some of the lead tools. So we have several lead tools inside of Webfire. Each one does a different thing. So the Tweet Lead Finder is a Twitter tool. So that's why if you see like hashtags and stuff there, that is why that's there. Within the tool, you can exclude anything you want. So if you want to exclude a retweet or like a hashtag and stuff, you can do that. And you can kind of fine tune those leads right there. The other lead tools would not have hashtags because it wouldn't be a social media one. I think I answered that, but if not, feel free to clarify or ask us support. And with that, let's give some cash away because we're on top of the hour. So I'll give you guys maybe 5 more seconds to do a post right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, refresh. All right. So we have 39 plus these 2. Count the ones outside first, that'll be easier. There's always a few that post outside. All right. 1 post outside, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 plus 6 plus, so 45 in total. All right, 45 in total. I'll do 1 to 45. Sean, what do you think the winner will be, or who do you think?
Number 4.
All right, that'll be super easy to do.
I know you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Generate. 32. Damn it. Those are the hard ones to count right there. All right, 32. All right, 32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. All right. 32. That was the number I said, right? Yes. 32. All right. So John Michael White, if you look like that guy and your wife or girlfriend looks like the gal next to you, congratulations. You are $100 richer, or you will be, as soon as you pass on your PayPal email in the chat box to Sharon. So just make sure you write out your PayPal email address, and Sharon will get that off to you right away this afternoon. So again, congratulations to John Michael White for being this week's Wednesday Marketing Webinar winner. And once again, thanks to the rest of you for joining us on this call right here. Hopefully you got some good info. And of course, if there's any ideas for like future topics or anything like that, feel free to suggest some, because we're always looking for new ideas or basically anything like that. And if there's any questions or anything else that pop up later that they have, you can always write support@webfire.com. So with that, guys, again, I want to thank you for being on this call. Hope you have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.